What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a title that is called War Hospital. Very, very simple named title. I think it probably could add a little bit more pop or crackle on in there, but this is a game where you're managing a World War I field hospital in the midst of kind of like, I don't know if there's going to be RTS gameplay inside of here, but we do have trenches that we can go to, so you can take a look over here, and the gameplay kind of takes place in multiple different areas. So you have the trenches over here, and HQ has just given us a command that we have to hold until the 21st of June. So we've got 2 weeks that we've got to hold against the German advance for right now. And in order to do that, you need to be working inside of your hospital. Oops, went to the wrong place. You need to be inside your hospital, taking all of the wounded that come back through. You've got to triage them. You've got to decide, like, hey, this person's going to live. This person's going to die. This person's going to make it. This person's not going to make it. So, like, let's just go ahead and decide who we're going to treat. And I think that's kind of an interesting idea. And so we're going to check the game out today. We're going to see if it's something that you guys wanted to add to your wish list or otherwise path on. If after watching this, you wanted to get the game for yourself, I got a link for you down below in the description. And then, of course, on top of that, you will also be able to find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream down below, just in case you wanted to hang out live. All right, so let's get started. How does this game work? Well, it's like Management Tycoon. So there's a lot of things we got to fiddle with. To get you up to speed in 2.5 hours, we're going to have a second surgeon arrive. And there's multiple different people that work inside of our war camp. We have doctors, we have medics, we have nurses, and we have engineers. And all of those people can be assigned to different jobs, whether that be producing food, or working in the canteen, or producing surgical supplies, or other things like that. For right now, I've got a doctor that's arriving in 2.5 hours. So if you take a look at our CCS right here, this is kind of like our casualty clearing area. You'll notice that 3 of these guys are going to die unless they're treated on very quickly. That's why I kind of went ahead and ordered myself a new doctor so that I could shift these guys down into the second doctor's shift, and hopefully everything will work out. Aside from that, we also have our pharmacy over here. This is where we're going to produce a lot of our medical goods in order to keep on working, because we can't just requisition everything from the train that comes 8 hours. It costs way too much. We also have the rehabilitation center over here, and this is an important part of the game. Basically, every single person that gets healed, you need to decide where they're gonna go. So if you look at their troop card right here, everybody has like a different combat effectiveness. Everybody has a different financial value. So this right here is effectively requisition, and this right here is their morale value. And so basically, you've got to decide 3 places that each of these soldiers that you can heal are gonna go in order to determine what your reward is for healing that person. So if we send them to the trenches, it strengthens this line up here at the top. Every time you see these guns right here, that's the hour in which the Germans are going to hit our lines. They're going to attack our trenches, and then I assume we're going to counterattack. So this is going to get depleted every time we reject a German advance. And so putting these guys back to the trenches will slowly change the color of this guy from red, which means we get defeated and lose the game, to blue, which means that we easily defeat the Germans. Aside from that, you also need this military drafts right here in order to order new equipment, in order to get new resources, and also in order to do research. You need these. So there's always going to be that temptation that you can send these guys to go be intelligence officers at HQ in order to get more of these little intelligence military drafts so that you can advance your tech tree and have faster production times and faster healing times and faster sleeping times, stuff like that for your staff. And then you can release them from duty and you will get morale. And so these are the things that you kind of need to consider. If you take a look back here, our morale is actually reasonably decent right now. So unfortunately for our dear friend, what was his name? Unfortunately for our friend Kwai Kang Y, he's probably going, well, I mean, not so bad. He's going to HQ because we can use the resources. So we'll discharge him there. Over here at the train station, we can also order resources. I do think that there's a pretty strong chance right now that I'm going to need to order surgical supplies. So I'm going to go ahead and put those on the next train. We don't need like a huge amount of surgical supplies. I'm just going to use the requisition that we got from putting him back to the intelligence HQ to knock that out, basically, and then we'll unpause the game. One early observation that I do have about the game is that for some reason, spacebar does not pause and unpause the game. This is kind of like an RTS standard for when push pause is available. We don't have that here, and I'd like to see that implemented. We also don't have any rekey bindable things at all inside of this game. Now, it's mostly a mouse-driven game, so that's not an enormous deal, but I do think there is utility in being able to assign your spacebar to whatever you want. Ooh, we got a new patient, huh? Okay, we've got a doctor back in over there, grabbing more people. Looks good. Yeah, I bet our doctors are really, really tired. I bet they're exhausted. So what has happened here? CCS is waiting for a decision. All right, so let's go to the CCS over here. And inside of our CCS, we have more men that need to be assigned to someone's duty roster. So taking a look at these guys, you can see the severity of their wound by this little symbol right here. Somebody that has 3 bullet holes on their unit card, probably not going to make it, and a big part of this game is going to be triage assigning people who are going to live and die. So my mom was an emergency room RN for a big chunk of her career. She continues to be an RN to this day, but she worked in the emergency room for a long time. There's this system called triage that maybe people are not aware of from outside the medical field. But triage is effectively, if you ever watch Saving Private Ryan when the medics are going down the line and he's like, 2 morphine, then this, and then one guy he says like expectant. Expectant means the guy's gonna die. That guy's not gonna make it. There's nothing you can do to save that guy, so just make him comfortable and don't waste any time on him. This game is the same way. If you put people in the denied folder, I assume it means they're just gonna hit them with a ton of morphine and let them slip away. You lose morale for anybody that dies in this game, but if they're in the denied folder, you lose way, way, way less morale. So a big part of this game is actively trying to figure out, all right, who can I save? Who can I not save? Like, who should I put on the list here for fast turnaround? Who should I waste time on? Who should I not waste time on? It becomes one of those things where you're going to want to take a look, and every single one of these unit cards, if you middle click on it, it will actually give you a full unit sheet here that will tell you everything that goes into this guy's operation time. So if we take a look at Burford Whitaker, how tiring was his operation? So how tired is that going to make the doctor? How high is the chance of failure? Our complication chances during there. This game does have little RimWorld style pop-ups that you'll have to deal with. So if you're operating on somebody, you'll get a pop-up that says, sir, his immune system is a lot weaker than we thought it was. What do you want us to do here? Shift him out of the operational place and put him in expectant and just let him die? Do you want to use more resources to try to save him? And you've got to look at this guy's stats and figure out, like, how much requisition am I going to get for this guy? You've got to check and be like, how strong is he if I send him back to the front lines? Is he like a hero that's going to swing victory all by himself? These are all considerations you're going to have to take on in, and I think this makes this kind of an interesting, compelling game that stands alone, because I can't really think in my head of too many other games like this that I've ever seen before, and I think this is actually a really nice twist on normal strategy gameplay. So for now, there's not really a whole lot for us to do except for wait. Our doctor has 2 more operations left. He's going to be extremely exhausted after that one. He's going to hit that guy, then he's going to go for a 10-hour rest. Hopefully our next doctor gets here fresh and ready to go. He should be on the next train. Oh boy, we just spent a bunch of time on that patient that we were working on and he died. Unfortunate way that she goes, but our second doctor is now here, which actually saves us a lot of pressure here in the CCS. So we're going to want to line up pretty much anybody that has like a high chance to survive. So that's 2 hours right there. It looks like it's going to be fairly tiring. We've got a double wound right there, but it's not going to be as tiring. We've got a big one right there, and then he's going to be exhausted. We're probably, what's our chances looking like right here? Chances of failure are high. Okay, so you're denied. Chances of failure are uncertain, 3 stars, but it's an uncomplicated operation. Plus, you've got a sick-ass mustache, so there you go. And then we'll set a rest for him to go to sleep right after he gets done with those patients. So he's got a solid 14-hour shift in front of him. My mom was, like I said, an RN for my entire life, and so I'm just letting you know, if you want your family members to be around, you're gonna have to make some concessions when it comes to having a family member who's a healer. Unfortunately, those 16-hour shifts and sleeping at the hospital, it's gonna happen. It may be a few days till you see mom again, but you just gotta understand she's saving people's lives. We should work on improving the healing process. That way we will be able to help more wounded. Yeah, I kind of like skipped the line. So they want me to build x-rays, but I kind of need... Do we have anybody right now inside rehab? We have waiting for a decision over here. He is very, very strong. So he's going to make the front lines tough, Joseph Taylor. So we want to send him to the line right there, because taking a look at his stats, they never really explained to me what these mean, these little chevrons right here. I can only assume that black is really, really good. Other than that, I don't know. Unfortunately, let me take a look at the encyclopedia. Yeah, so unfortunately, I went through the compendium and there's no indicator of what those chevrons mean. But I've seen guys that have no chevrons, I've seen guys that have full red chevrons, and I've seen guys that have a combination of red and black chevrons. So my assumption is black is the best. So if you have 3 black chevrons, I think that's the best a soldier can be. 3 red means they're like average, they're good, they'll add to the war effort. But I can't say that with any finality, unfortunately, because the tutorial never showed me the difference between a bad soldier and a good soldier. It just said, send this guy to the front, basically. So the tutorial the tutorial is fine, it gets you there, but there's still definitely some things in between the margins that I'm not fully understanding. We do have requisition available, and I do think we should probably use that for hiring. Let's go ahead and pick up a few more engineers, I think. We've got enough to pick up 2 engineers and another medic team. I think it's a good idea. So let's go ahead and grab them. They're going to be here in 4 hours, so they're going to be on the next train, not this one. That's fine, though, because not a single one of those guys is required to be here, like it's just extra icing on the cake. So I think it'll be okay. So for the sake of the tutorial, unfortunately, I'm going to have to reassign these engineers to go work on a different research because the tutorial's being really pushy about it right now. I thought I was through the tutorial, but I guess it's just being really, really thorough. We have an event on one of our patients right now. Sir, the patient's wound is unexpectedly clean and there's an extremely low chance of infection. We could save some medicinal supplies if we omit cleaning the wound. Do the procedure by the book, sir. Do the procedure by the book. We're professionals here. You're a doctor, right? Okay, then be a doctor. Let's not try to cut corners here when it comes to a human life, shall we? I just feel like it's a bad idea, so we'll just let it run the way that it is. We'll do our job the way that we're supposed to. Hopefully my engineers get here soon. I need these engineers bad. All right, so I think that, yeah, all of my personnel just got here. So what we need to do now is we need to reassign them. So personnel assignment. Let's take a look at our engineers. We want these guys to be in the pharmacy. So where do these guys want to work at? Everybody has like a preference of where they want to be at. Oh, he has no preference. Nice. There's a little down red arrow, so like that made me think maybe he had a preference. But you guys go work inside of there. I haven't gotten the shift system yet, so unfortunately it's not going to be that helpful. But they're going to get to work producing surgical supplies so that I don't have to order more. We've got our x-rays done, so we can now take scans of these individuals. That's good. I think that increased their survival chance by 25% of whatever it is as of right now, I think. All right, engineers are in the pharmacy, and I've got them set up to produce surgical supplies for right now, so those should be coming out very quickly and saving us money, basically, on having to order using our requisition. We don't have anybody in rehab right now. It just said somebody on my staff is close to collapsing, but I don't see it. I think it's going to be okay. I think it's calling out my surgeons right now, but I think I have my surgeons optimized to be perfectly fine. I think it'll be okay. Like if we take a look at the patients, we got another 34 minutes because I think this guy is off work shortly. Let's put his rest after this guy. Well, no, I think that gets them all out of the door, though. Like, I don't see a collapse on the 3 hours right there. Like, I think it'll be okay. I think he's only got 30 minutes left, so he's just got to make it another 3 hours, man, till 6:30. Then you gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be good. I do need to assign my medic team, though. I've got another medic team right here that I can move around. Casualty clearing station is probably where we want them for right now. I don't have any extra nurses, but that'll probably be my next requisition, I think. Let's get this cat done. You can see all the patients being worked on up there. Another one died. Man, okay. Apparently when it says they have a medium risk, I need to just send them to triage and let them go.
Sir, medics reached the casualty clearing station.
Sir, may I have a word with you?
Certainly. Tell me what's on your mind.
I was approached today by one of the civilians that stayed in the city. A man named Theo Blank. He was a stonemason here. According to his words, he customarily made a tombstone for each person buried in the cemetery. But with cemetery requisitioned by the military and so many deceased, he will not be able to because of the sheer amount of work.
Well, that is certainly sad. But I don't see anything we could do to help him.
Well, I think I have a kind of solution to this problem, sir. There is a significantly seized rock in the cemetery. We could use it to make a sort of memorial stone and carve there the name of each person died or that will die in the future. Mr. Theo Blank volunteered to prepare the stone and carve the name each time the person dies. All that is needed, sir, is your permission.
There you go. So there are these little narrative elements that pop up as well. Good, we actually successfully healed somebody. Look at that, dude. We're not butchers. All right, so he's done. He should be taking a rest. He's got 8 hours left to go. But until the battle, we shouldn't have more people coming on in. So I think we're a little bit ahead of the curve. Pravin, the local stonemason. We saw this story. I agree. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and carve it on in there. I'm sure that'll have no consequences later on down the line that'll affect anything. I'm sure I don't need to worry about it. We're okay on food for another 10 days. It looks like we're okay on alcohol. They haven't taken anybody over to the rehab center, but you can see them doing it right here. That's one of my medic teams. They're taking him over to the rehab center so we can decide whether he's going back to the front or not. Oh, that was one of the patients that I had in triage. Yeah, that'll do it. All right, rehab center. Let's take a look. Who do we got here? Not a particularly good fighter as far as I can tell. I think we should probably send him to HQ. I could use some more requisition, I think. Like, we're already slated to win this battle right here, so I feel like it's going to be okay.
Sir, we lost this patient.
Wow, dude, everybody's dying. The cemetery should have a medic team. I had one on there just a second ago. My medics are exhausted. Gotcha. So I think I got to take them off. Oh, you got to micromanage it like that? They don't just take time off? That's probably where the shift system comes in. All right. So what do we have going on here at the CCS? High chance of failure on the guy we're working on right now. We've got a few more dudes in here. So a high chance of failure. Go ahead and deny him. Uncertain chances of failure on Quan Mao. Uncertain chances of failure on him. It's a 2-hour operation. And he's not really that wounded, so we'll schedule him for the morning, I suppose. But finish your rest first. Alright, we have new patients freshly arrived, unfortunately. I thought they were only going to come in whenever there was like a battle. But I guess they just sort of like flow through at all times, I guess. We have a high chance of failure on him. But it's an uncomplicated operation that takes 6 hours. Alright, high chance of failure, you're out. Uncertain chance of success on him. So we'll probably want to slide him in right there, I guess. Is probably like the best I can do. I mean, it's either that or I could slide him in right there. But, I mean, these guys aren't going to get operated on for a while. But their condition may deteriorate on the way in there, so tough one. What are you going to do? As soon as this guy's out of rehab, too, my nurses are resting right now, so we have inefficiencies. Our defense is looking strong. We got operations underway. Hopefully they live. We've been having, like, real bad luck with this whole, like, living thing. It hasn't been going...
Operation was successful.
All right, dude, a guy lived. Listen, man, it's a World War I battlefield. Guys got all kinds of mud and turds and pee inside their wounds and whatnot, man. It's not great. 10 hours till this guy's released. What can I do with you? Looks like this guy is not a very good fighter. I really wish when you moused over this, it gave you like a rank or something. It told you like how strong they were. What are you going to do? We'll release that guy from duty to make up for like some of the morale that we've been losing. Well, maybe we won't. Sucks to be that guy. Maybe I'll send him to HQ instead. Let's send him to HQ, I guess. If you wanted to see what the tech tree looked like for this game, let me see if I can dig it up for you. There should be like an improvements menu here. And even if I can't find it, we can just click on a building. Every single building has the improvements button. So you've got yourself healing, housing, production, and scouting over here. And this is one of the principal reasons why you need the war documents or whatever in order to get things finished off. Amputation takes 50. We can do... Oh, really? We can perform amputations. I don't know if we want to do that just yet. Deceased do not occupy beds in CCS and operating tables in operating wards. I was kind of looking for, like, anything that would allow me to increase their chances of living, because that seems to be where we're really, like, shit in the bed right now, is that if you look over here, right, you have operations chances for people that are being operated on, and the amount of nurses you have assigned determine whether or not you can even that out, because they're assisting the doctors in their surgeries. And so it becomes one of those things that, is this Shelley Davies right here, the one being worked on? That is. Okay, they're working on him right now. Was this guy uncertain? Okay, so we don't know if that guy's going to make it, but... The good news is we had another successful operation on old Shelly, so Shelly's feeling all right. We'll go inside the rehab center once they move him over here, and we'll figure out what we can do for him to either reinforce the line, which is about to receive an attack. I don't actually know what this system looks like right here, so I guess we'll find out on the fly. I've been playing for about an hour prior to the recording of this, just kind of looking around and familiarizing myself with the UI, and so I don't know how this is going to go. It looks like we may actually have to do stuff RTS style. Like, we have little guys over there. It looks like the right flank is not looking quite as good as the rest of it. But, back to the hospital. We got our third guy admitted into the rehab center. He is indeed admitted back into the rehab center. You, sir. So I'm actually going to reorganize these guys over here. This guy is going to the front. And I think these two guys are good for requisition, maybe? Yeah, let's put them in there for requisition. We'll send them back to the HQ in order to do intel. They've got a little while till they're out of here, but I've got a feeling I don't have any food production right now, so I've got a sneaking suspicion that I'm going to need to buy food pretty shortly in order to make up for the shortfall.
Sir, patient is cured.
Good. Glad to hear it. Well done. And it looks like my doctor is off his shift, or he's on his shift in about 1 hour. So those guys will be worked on very shortly, too. Actually, let me check their survival chances once more. Uncertain. Uncertain. Okay. Well, those ones are kind of up in the air. It's kind of hard to say. Let me also check, like, have my nurses come off staff yet? So, like, I need to take a look at the rehabilitation center. It looks like she's ready, actually, to come back on staff. So it looks like that's probably their rest level or something like that. Let's go ahead and put her back inside the operating ward. As soon as I get more troop requisition, I'm going to order a few more nurses, too. It looks like we're not quite ready for that attack over there. So if we can get people healed up and back in the saddle, I'd feel a lot better about all of this. We also have new patient arrivals, unfortunately, from the front. So let's go ahead and take a look at the CCS real fast. This guy has a high chance of dying. This guy here has an uncertain chance of living. Okay. You were there, sir. And then for him, I don't even know if we should attempt it. Technically, he should be Technically, we should give him a throw, I guess. I mean, it's not like we're hurting for doctors right now. I really don't know with this guy what I want to do with him. Like, I feel like every time I attempt a high-risk surgery, they die. Like, that feels very much like the way this always seems to go, is that whenever I do, like, a high-complication surgery, I also don't know if the tiredness of the doctor matters for all of this either. Like, let's say I put him in right there, and then I swap out some of the guys that are, like, less important. Maybe if he operates on this guy next while he's still fresh and well-rested, maybe it'll increase the chances. I'm not super sure. And so it looks like we've got extra help from the nurse being back inside the OR as well. Hopefully he'll give it a go. We'll give it our best throw here. I think this is one of those situations where you're kind of like making lemonade. Like, I hate to say it like that when it comes to human lives, but this strikes me as being kind of a situation where you do your best. All right? You do your best, and there's a lot of outside factors in a situation like this affecting the outcomes of a situation that unfortunately are just outside the control of your medical expertise. I mean, right now we're operating inside of a wood shanty that's built inside of a bombed out building, and we've got our storage supplies in the open air. We're storing the supplies for surgeries in the open air. You know what I mean? How sanitary could it be? Like, we're really doing the best with nothing right now. And so I feel like maybe I'm taking it a little bit too personally that I'm losing my patients. Oh, good. Sending that other guy to the front made it so that we now survive the second combat. I do want to see what happens with combat in this game for sure. How many guys do we have on their way up?
Operation was successful.
Good. You saved him. Very nice. Well done. Let's go over to the rehab center. You can see him being delivered right there. And let's go ahead and manage some paperwork here. This guy ain't much of a fighter. He's worth a decent amount of requisition, but we kind of need to polish off some of the morale loss we have. So we're going to go ahead and take care of him. He died in the admission area. That shouldn't be right. I had him in triage. He was in the denied folder. Why did he die in the lobby? He was in the folder. I know he was in the folder. So we do have, with the high complication guy, the procedure has heavy contamination in the operating table. I would like to request additional sterilization after the procedure. Sterilize. Go ahead. We dedicated to trying to save this guy. Let's not be halfway doctors here. All right, what else do we have going on? Rehab center. It looks like we've got a tired nurse. She needs to stay on duty for another 4.5 hours. There's not really much I can do about that, unfortunately. I wish there was something that I could do about that, but there isn't. So, I mean, I can maybe swap out of the OR right now, but that's going to cause problems with success chances on the poor bastard in there that's trying to stay alive. All right, I guess we'll swap them out. I don't really know what else to do here. What is this? Sir, we've received a request from HQ. Several bodies are found nearby, likely hit by the artillery strike. HQ is asking us to provide them with a burial. They will grant us staff permits. Medic team is unavailable for 12 hours. Yeah, we'll make it work. I think I have enough medics. I think I'm okay. The CCS doesn't need an extra team right now, I don't think. So I think we'll be all right. They're going to be out, but we definitely need the staffing. We need the staffing very, very badly. All right, so the battle's coming up, and I have a doctor on standby who has no assignments right now because we have another doctor dealing with the dead that are currently here. It looks like we're about to get hit, so let's go on over to the trenches and see how this goes. Couldn't honestly tell you.
We lost this patient.
Okay, so unfortunately, Kwai Kang died. I tried, man. I tried. We wasted a lot of resources on him, though, which is kind of unfortunate. Kind of a bummer. Okay, bring him on back to the camp. I guess that's what combat looked like. I was hoping that they were actually going to attack over here, and I could, like, click on these little guys, and I could move them around to, like, defend different portions of the line, but that's fine. Whatever. I don't know what any of those symbols mean right there. They haven't really told me yet. It's very abundantly apparent that there's still more mechanics that I have yet to experience in this game. CCS. 2 wounded soldiers. We got a high chance of failure on him. He's stable right now. We have uncertain chance of success on him. Go ahead and begin operations. We'll start with one first. Sir, we suffered heavy casualties during the last battle. There's a need to transport the wounded from the trenches to the casualty clearing station. To allow transportation from the trenches, we are going to need an advanced dressing station to be built near the front line, and one medic team should be assigned there. Okay, well, I don't really know what to do for you there because they haven't really given me any more staff points. So this becomes one of those situations where as much as I would adore to kind of take care of that for you, we sort of have downsides right now. What does putting her on the casualty clearing station do? The patient's state improves, possibly? I feel like I still want the operational effectiveness over here, I think. I feel like when I have a nurse assigned, they survive more frequently, and we're kind of like on a 50-50 survival rate right now, which I don't think is great. Like, I feel like I should probably feel a little bit guilty about that. What are my engineers doing right now? They're doing a surgery ward enhancement. We have 2 engineers rested and go back to the pharmacon in order to knock that out right there. All right, we're looking pretty solid. We've got a question about this guy. The bullet passed through the patient's body without causing any major damage to his internal organs. His expected chances of survival are much higher than anticipated. Fantastic. Well done. So we're a little bit low on surgical supplies right now. I think it's not a terrible idea to maybe spend a little bit of our requisition to get that there. It's probably... Oh, wow, you get a lot of food for your requisition, too. So that's going to be 6 of our requisition gone. That leaves us with 3 requisition just in case we need to, like, panic and get more. I think that's fine. Yeah, go ahead and put the order in with the train man. All right. I dig the game. I like it a lot. It's clearly a game where they tried to do the best they could with the budget that they have. I do have, like, a few little complaints about no keybinds and not being able to press spacebar in order to pause. I've had weird little things happen during this time where, like, tutorials will overlay one another. For example, and you've got to like figure out when you've got multiple things flashing, like which tutorial it wants you to knock out first. It looks like this guy is experiencing breathing problems and swelling during the procedure. It's an allergic reaction to anesthetics. Ugh, nothing I can do. We don't have advanced enough facilities, unfortunately. So his chance just advanced to dying from 3 to 4, which is a bummer. We don't want to see that. There's also like some of the little unit barks are really, really loud compared to others. So, like, the lady that's on the megaphone that's like, "Sir, the medics have made it to their station," they're really, really loud compared to the normal dialogue volume, and so that needs to be EQ'd out. Oh, we saved him! Nice! Despite the fact that his chances went way, way down, we saved him. Well done, Doctor. You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. Well, somebody made it to the rehab center. That's good. And so he's got 3 hours, then rest. And then he's got 3 hours, and then he's kicking it. Sounds good to me. Get him on out of here. Get him taken care of. However, it's an interesting game. I've really, really been enjoying the resurgence, I guess. I've really been liking the resurgence of games that have to do with World War I right now. I've been liking that a lot. I'm a big fan. Like, I feel like World War II is kind of played out in gaming right now. And so seeing a lot of World War I stuff has been really rad. And so this is definitely attacking the Great War from a different direction than I think is anticipated. And I think it's got a gameplay loop that makes sense. It's not super hard to pick up, but I do think it could be tutorialized a little bit better. The sound could be EQ'd a little bit better for some of the unit barks and whatnot. But the game is interesting. I unfortunately don't know what the price point is going to be for this game, which unfortunately really, really affects my recommendation here. Because if this is like a $30 game, like, meh. But if it's like a $14 game, like, that'd be like $14.99, I'd be fine with that. If it's like a $30 game, I would have expected that on the battlefield out here, we actually get to, like, control things and, like, take cover and sort of fight Company of Heroes style. And so I can't really say whether I recommend it or not right now because I don't know what price point it's going to release at. And for me, that's a big part of the factor of whether or not I recommend something. Like, I'm very, like, financially focused with a lot of things that happen with video games. Like, I tend to be that kind of person that compares the price to the gameplay you're getting out. I know that some developers really hate that, but we have an operational emergency. Okay, so diagnosis of the case was accurate. You could perform a more adjusted procedure inside of a normal one to ensure the operation runs smoother or save supplies. Let's go ahead and do the procedure by the book. I don't know, dude. I'm a professional with stuff like this. I can't help it with medical stuff. I'm always like trying to do the lawful good thing and save everybody. Yeah, my general complaints are we can't rekeybind or at least put pause on the space bar. There's no unified area with all of your buildings in one spot that you can just click on to go to that building instantly. You always got to memorize where the building's at and scroll to it. There's no quick save in the game. I think there should be a quick save and also a quick save hotkey. Dialogue cuts off when you pause the game, which means that sometimes you're working on a lot of things while also listening to the narrative elements, and it can be distracting. And so I would prefer that while people are talking and, you know, having a general narrative conversation, I'd be able to pause the game, listen to the conversation, then go back to treating people. It's fine. That's kind of a minor complaint, but, you know. But I like the game. It's really the price point that I'm not so sure about. I wish I knew it. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we're fooling around with War Hospital, a brand new take on the strategy genre that I don't think I've seen before. I think it's a good idea, though. And every time I think we've hit the end of whatever the thing is that the game expects from me, and I think I've hit the end of, like, the content where I'm hitting the main part of the game now, where I'm just maintaining and doing researches and trying to stay ahead of the curve. They add in a new mechanic, and so it seems like there's still more stuff that they're going to be adding on in that I need to learn how to function with here, and so that's also good that it keeps unrolling more things. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we are actively fooling around with a game called War Hospital. Catch y'all next time. Bye, folks.